Hi, everybody. I am super excited for today because I am here with my personal social media guy, Hanna.
Thank you for having me on the show.
I'm so excited. Now, Chris in content, and we're going to talk about like all things social media today. So we're going to talk about real estate and how that is social media is so important to that, but we're also going to go outside of that and we're going to talk about a lot of things with social media. So we're going to talk about like what's coming up next, like what to do, where social media is going. We're going to talk about AI. We're going to talk about every like avenue that Chris does, because he doesn't just do real estate.
I just don't do RuthAnn social media.
That's right. He's not just does RuthAnn Osborne real estate. So I'm really excited to just jump in. But first of all, Chris, thank you so much. And tell me a little bit about yourself and your company.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, appreciate the opportunity to connect and be on this side of it. Normally, like I'm on a different side of the equation. So
normally you're behind.
I'm behind the scenes in a lot of ways, right? But this is the reason why I actually did create my business, because I actually love being in front of the camera. I love talking. I started my business because I was in the corporate world for many years. I would go to all these conferences and events and I would see people up on stage and people would say, Chris, you need to be speaking. You need to be doing that. And I'm like, how do I do that? And so I talked to speakers and they said the same thing. You got to create content. So I'm like, okay. So I started creating blog posts. Eventually, some companies saw some of the blog posts. They said, hey, can you record some webinars for us? And I said, sure, I can do that. So I'm doing this all as a side hustle in the IT business. And next thing you know, I started getting booked for some speaking gigs. First speaking gig was 3,000 people in Chicago. And I was like, oh, this is cool.
That's a good first speaking gig.
I'm like, this is pretty intimidating. And then I started, doing stuff in Florida and Washington, D.C. and Vegas and all these different places. I'm like, maybe I'm going to be a professional speaker as a side hustle kind of thing, right? Because I didn't like working for other people. I didn't like being in the IT world. I was in the car rental business for a long time too. And so eventually, I find myself, really loving this more and more. And I was like, I'm going to do it, but I didn't know how to do it. Like, I didn't know what lane I was going to speak in. And through a bunch of different, steps and journeys, I eventually become a CEO of a real estate education company. I'm helping investors basically turn their investment business into like an actual business, right? If we're talking flipping and wholesaling and Airbnb, short-term rental stuff. And so I did that for a couple of years, but I still didn't feel like I loved it.
Yeah.
And I'm running somebody else's company. I didn't own the company, but I was the CEO of the company. And my wife says to me, Chris, why don't you go all in and bet on yourself? Like, you love coaching, you love consulting, you love creating content. So I decided to go all in. And eventually, created this company called All In Content. Now we batch record videos, and we have a studio that we're in one of the 4 rooms, and we help people making their social media easy so they don't have to worry about it. And it's been a blast to do these last 5 years.
Yeah, and you know what? This whole building and everything that you have in here is really cool, because it's like you come in and there's like different areas and different styles and different vibes that you can have depending on what it is that, you're trying to put out there or educate people on and stuff like that.
Well, for years, I would go to people and I would record all their content, right? Like, I recorded thousands and thousands of videos across multiple industries and companies. I recorded everything from like inside people's cars, in their bathrooms I've recorded in. I've recorded
the bathroom sessions.
I've recorded in the sewer with plumbers before. Like, I've recorded some really cool stuff. But then I kept getting people saying like, hey, I'd like to do some podcast content. So I had a studio. It was inside a real estate office a couple streets over, and it was just a single room. And I felt like I needed more space. So eventually I found this, and this has just actually been a year of having this location so far. But I think it's been a really cool addition to the business.
Yeah, it is. It's really, really neat. And you know what? Like, I like being out there and meeting people and stuff, and that's part of my business, right? But also being able to come in and do this professionally is like super cool too. I mean, look at this microphone. It is very cool.
Yeah. People come in here and then like they do find like that is cool, and it's also easier and more efficient too.
Yes.
Like, when you're trying to record yourself, like, you got to remember, the camera, you got to have the mics, the right lighting. There's a lot of background noise. I've recorded in a lot of offices where then people are like, hey, my employees need to be very quiet, but they're also trying to work. So you come in here, it can actually be more efficient. So what I used to be able to do in, say, a 2 or 4 hour session, we can get done in 1 hour here.
Yes.
And it's incredible. Like, people are in a 1 hour session are getting about 20 videos done for social media.
Right. Which is amazing. And you know what? I think, okay, so I love, much like you, I love public speaking. I do like to be in front of the camera, obviously, but it's easy for me, right? It's easy for me. It's something I enjoy, but I feel like 99% of people out there even if you are in the public eye, it is not something that you want to do. You're not like, hey, how's it going? You know, I want to be on video. That's not what people want to do. And they don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Right. And I do get a lot of people that ask me and say, like, you do a lot of video. Like, how do you come up with this kind of stuff? And I do call you and, you know, like you've given me sheets and stuff and you're like, do these videos, right? But then there's also the aspect that I come up with a lot of stuff myself.
Yeah.
But the majority of people they just know it's not going to happen, right? And I always say, you just need to do it. And they can't even start. So if they can just come here and be told, sit down, here's what you're going to talk about. This is what we're going to do. And we're going to shoot it all in a morning or an afternoon or in a couple of hours, right? Now they're done.
Right.
Right? Like they're done with their social media for the next 6 months.
Yeah, they don't have to think about it again.
They don't have to think about it again.
Yeah, and that was the whole thing. Like when I started my business, I started just with batch recording content. Like the first client I ever had was a roofer. I went to Kitchener-Waterloo and he's like, okay, can you record with me? And I said, I'd never done it before, but I got up with a cell phone and I got up on the roof for 3 days and we recorded 100 videos in 3 days. Wow. And I just asked him questions. But then I realized I gave him all the videos and then he didn't post them. And I was like, what's going on? He's like, oh, I'm just so busy. I was like, well, what if I posted for you? And then it eventually became, oh, well, I can either just record content and give it to you, or we can actually post it and start doing the social media management. And then the business just started to evolve from there because then more and more companies started seeing consistent posts going out from some of the clients that we worked with. And next thing you know, doing it for a lot of different industries.
Yeah. And I do have to say, like, that I think is one of the biggest things, especially when you're busy. So when you and I first met, I had content. I was like that guy. I was like, I have videos. Like I have everything. I just can't post it. Yeah. You know, like at the end of the day, personally, I'd be sitting down and I'm like, I don't want to post this. But I have to post this for my business and for my clients. And I have to do this. And then I flip open Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. And I'm like, okay, I knew how to do this last week, but for some reason they've changed it now. Yeah. You know, and now I don't know how to put the words in it and I don't know how to post it. And then you do post it and it says, oh, well, you can't use this song because it's not allowed. And,
right.
You know, it's 10 o'clock at night and you're like, I'm done with this, phone done. And I mean, for me, I was like, I'm done with this. I need to have a professional. I am a real estate agent. That is my job. I am not a social media person whatsoever. I'm not a photographer. I'm not a videographer. I'm not a social media person. So I get that, especially with business people there. And I mean, like I'm in my 40s. Okay. So I was born, I've got a little bit of technology as I grew up, not like these kids today. I find it difficult at 40. If you're 50, oh my goodness. Yeah. They're probably like, I apparently have Facebook. It's somewhere on this phone. My daughter put it on for me. Like, they're not doing that kind of stuff.
I feel like every business owner who sees this or eventually hears this message should know this, that like, stop being the chief everyone officer and trying to do every single hat in your business. Yes. And eventually you can grow and scale faster by hiring and bringing in the right talent in different roles.
That's right.
To be able to help you, like people who are experts in their fields.
Yes.
Right? Like don't try and do it all, because I've worked with people, like I worked with a bookkeeping client who was so stressed out. She would spend 8 hours to record one minute video to post on a Monday. And she's like, why am I recording over and over and over again and trying to teach myself how to edit and then trying to post this content? Yeah. And then she started working with me and she's like, oh, this is so much easier. I just literally record with you 2 hours a month. You handle everything and I'm not going to worry about it again.
Yeah. Professionals hire professionals. So if you're a professional and you're a business owner, hire professionals, you know, and hire Chris because he's awesome. I can vouch for him.
Same thing from a real estate perspective though, right? Like you want to work with the right people. Yeah. Like the right realtor can make the difference because they're going to have the right information on what this neighborhood is, you know, what their homes are selling for, how to actually position it the right way, how to get everything out there. Like you get the wrong person, it's going to sit a lot longer than it should.
That's right. And, you know, like I tried a lot of things before you and I connected, right? And I mean, I did everything when I first started real estate. I was making my own videos. I think we talked about this with somebody else where I had like my dad was following me around with a video camera. And to go into my very first listing, it was my dad videoed it with my cell phone.
You got to start somewhere though.
You got to start somewhere, right? And people thought it was awesome. They were like, who did this for you? And I was like, me.
Yeah.
and my dad. And then my niece was actually helping me because when I first started, I actually had a computer program and I can't even remember what it was, but I was like putting it in and chopping it up and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But then technology changed so quickly that it went from needing this big program to be able to do that to like you could do it all on your phone.
Right.
And I didn't know how to do that. So my niece, who's like 9, is, she's like, I just got TikTok. Or maybe she was 10, something like that. And she's like, I just got TikTok. And I was like, you know how to use it? Can I send you this stuff? And can you like post it?
That's funny.
Yeah. And she was super excited because I gave her all my passwords for like all my social media. And she was like not really allowed to be on social media.
Oh,
like she
'cause
had like
of
a time
age.
thing because of
Okay.
the age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So she would like post my videos and do my stuff. But then I knew she was on there as well,
Yeah.
checking stuff out. Right. And then from there, it was like, okay, I need to do more of this. I need to hire somebody. And unfortunately, I went with the wrong person.
Yeah.
Right.
And I hear that happen a lot with a lot of people.
Yeah. And so I feel like what I was trying to attain that individual wanted to attain, but really wasn't quite there yet.
Yeah.
Right. And just kind of got overwhelmed. And that was when me and you connected.
Mhm.
Right. And I interviewed everybody.
Yes,
okay?
I remember you saying this. You interviewed a lot of people.
I did. I think I called every single social media person and talked to them. And one of the things that I really, really loved about you was that you had the same process that mainly I did with clients, right? So I went on your website, and I was able to book through your website. You called me, and then we sat on a Zoom meeting together and we met each other.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't just like, oh yeah, this is what my charges are and here's my packages. And like, if you want to work with me, great, let me know type of thing. And you're going to call me like 50 times.
Yeah.
Right? No, you were like, this is the process. This is how we do it. Let's make the appointments. Let's meet together. Let's find out and create what's going to work for you and your business. So I really, really love that aspect of it.
Yeah, and I remember like when we had those conversations, it was actually fairly quick. Then we were able to start working together. And like, I don't know if it's just because it really clicked on your side that you're just like, yeah, let's just work with Chris. Like this just seems like the right fit. But I was impressed like how quick it was. And then when I started doing it, I was like, wow, like RuthAnn is a hustler because you're getting listings, you're getting deals, like you were out there. And I was like, I love working with RuthAnn because it was so cool. You're constantly just busy.
I am busy, and I'm glad that I have you because you make it easier. And yeah, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have a social media guy. Like I'm going to have to post stuff on my own. Right.
Yeah.
But also I didn't want to make the mistake of getting the wrong person again.
Yeah.
Right. So I was like interview after interview and really needed somebody who knew what they were talking about and who got my vision. I think that's what it was, is I talked to you and you were like, okay, I get what you want to do. I understand that. This is how it will happen and this is how it will work. And I was like, oh, good. Because I needed you to understand me.
Yeah.
But I also needed you to tell me how it worked at the same time.
I find that like I hear this often from a lot of different industries actually, where people say like they've worked with somebody else and it hasn't gone well. And that makes them a little gun shy to actually maybe do something again. Like they're like, oh, maybe I'm just not going to post on social media because I had a bad experience, or I tried doing video and it didn't work. I think where it's a little different with me, and I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but I think it's because I am a business owner. And so I also know how to work with business owners. I'm not just a person who comes in, press record, just do that post. I think about it from the business side, and I've had diverse experiences.
Yeah.
Because you can hire someone just to like hit record, but can they do all the other aspects of it that actually to understand the vision and work with the business owner?
Yes. And also reach the proper, what's the word I'm looking for here? Reach the proper people, right? Because it's one thing, like I always say to my clients, you can dress up your house, or you can get yourself ready and you can look pretty and you can wear Louis Vuitton and all that kind of stuff. But if you don't step out of the house, you're never going to get to go and dance with somebody. You're never going to meet that right person, right? And same thing with your house. You can get it all dressed up pretty, but if you don't have that reach, if you're not out there on social media, if you're not out there meeting people, if your posts in your house are not meeting people, you're never going to meet the right person for your house. Right. So when I'm working with you, I know that it's getting off the page. Like it's not just, I don't post something, it's stuck on my Facebook or my Instagram or YouTube. It's reaching the right clientele that it needs to reach in the right places.
Yeah. You have to be in multiple spots, right? Like I've seen some people like, well, I'm just going to post, once a month just here on this channel. And it's like, no, that's not going to help you because people don't understand that social media has changed. It's not actually social media. It's interest media now today too, where people like the algorithm will push content that it thinks that you like because that's what you spend time on. That's what you look at. That's what you share. Not that it's just your friends and family anymore.
Yeah.
And so people love following, real estate agents because they love looking at homes or they're maybe looking to buy a home, right? So you got to consistently be putting content out there multiple times per day.
Yeah.
Multiple formats.
Yeah. And it's got to be like you were talking about the algorithms, right? Like it has to be reaching people as well. The people. And I mean, I know, and everybody does, you go on and you click a dog picture of a cute little puppy. And all of a sudden, all your feed is just all cute puppies. Right? Which is great. I love cute puppies and they do take up my social media personally.
Yeah.
But when I was looking to hire somebody, that's what I wanted. Right?
That's right.
And that's what you do, which is really, really great. Now, can we talk a little bit about AI?
Sure. Absolutely.
Okay. So I want to talk about AI because everybody's talking about AI. No matter where you go and what you do, everyone's like, well, AI. And I feel like it's really evolving super, super fast.
It is.
Right? I mean, like in 2 years, it's gone from like, hey, we can do an algorithm to it's going to create everything for you. Just type in what you want it to do. Right?
Right.
And me and you have talked a lot about AI. And one of my personal things that I've expressed is I don't want to be AI. Right? Like I believe in the personal. I believe in a world full of AI. People want to actually see the real thing.
That's right.
Right? So what are some benefits of AI? And then also, what are some things that are not beneficial with AI? Like, what are some things that people need to be very cautious with, especially business owners?
So let's start on the positive side.
Yeah.
The benefit I think that most people are still, I think, starting to use AI a lot more better for is idea generation, right? It can produce a lot of ideas. Now the problem is if you're trying to use it from a scripting perspective, it's not going to sound as authentic though as you need it to be. It's not going to sound like you necessarily. Like you can feed it a lot of information. And when I'm talking AI at this point, I'm not talking just ChatGPT anymore. Like ChatGPT is really like an older way to now use it.
Right.
Claude is the one.
Claude's the one.
Claude's the one that people are using now more than anything else. I find I do use AI quite a bit in my business, but it's more from an idea perspective. I'm not using it to help me create content necessarily, because I find there's an inauthenticity that happens with it.
That's right. AI can't do personality.
It doesn't do, but it all starts to look the same.
Yes.
Right. So if we, outside of say the real estate space, if you look at food as an example, a lot of restaurants are using AI to create all their ads.
Okay.
They all look the same.
Yeah.
The problem is there's a lot of backlash. So if you go onto what's called the Windsor Food Spotters group, there's a lot of backlash when people post, here's my restaurant, because it's AI image of a food. It's not the actual real food.
Oh, okay.
So you don't want to lean too heavily to be, here's my business and it's AI, because then it's actually not the real thing.
Right.
So what's going to stand out is being authentic, being real, being the real person.
Yeah.
If you use an AI avatar to try and sell your homes, it's going to have no personality.
Right. And people, I feel like people know. I feel like people know if it's AI or a real person.
It's getting like so much better, but there's still problems. And to me, people ask me all the time, like, hey, can you create AI versions of me so I don't have to record? I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm sorry, I'm not your guy.
I like that answer.
I don't want to lean onto that. Like to me, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Now, it is a problem, I'll say, in my business, because some people who would probably do business with me are now choosing, well, I'll just use AI. It's cheaper. I can do it that way.
Right.
I'm like, but you're still going to have a problem with results.
That's right. Yeah.
The results, in a world filled with AI content, the person who's authentic is going to win.
I agree.
They're going to stand out.
I agree.
So I say no a lot more than I've ever said no before, and especially in this last year.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I totally agree with that. And that is something that is just so important to me, is to be authentic, because when you're dealing with people want you to be honest with them. And what's more dishonest than not being the person that, like, creating, almost, to me, AI is like a cartoon. Okay. It's like, here's my cartoon version of me. It's the TV version of me that's not real.
Yeah.
Right. So the first person that you're meeting in a relationship where you need honesty is not even it's not even me.
Yeah.
right? So I don't know. I think it's great for a lot of things, like you said, ideas and things like
information, but sometimes like it can be giving you wrong information. Like it's not accurate all the time
Right?
too, which can be a problem. I'll give you this from a personal example, and I don't know if I should share this publicly, but I will. When Claude came out, I started using it and I was like, oh, it sounds pretty good. Like it's like, let me make some like scripts. And so I send a lot of videos. I sent a video to you as a follow-up, right?
Yeah.
Before we started doing business. I'm like, I'm going to have AI help me with a couple follow-ups for some leads that I have.
Yeah.
And those bombed. Me doing it personally then connects.
Yes.
I was like, well, I'm not using AI to help me come up with like follow-ups for business.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. But I wanted to try it because like, oh, you know what? Maybe let's have some good videos. The videos sucked. Like it's me. It's giving me a script and I'm still recording it, but I'm like, I don't sound like me.
Right.
It's not. I'm never gonna talk this way.
Yeah, exactly.
And I had no personality, and it was like trying to make like jokes and that were just not. I'm like, this ain't me.
Jokes that weren't that funny.
They're not that funny. It's pretty lame. So I'm like, I have to just do follow-up content with me, my voice. I don't need a script.
Yeah.
I don't need AI to tell me what to say.
Yeah.
Just be me. That's the stuff that's going to resonate.
Yes. And people can't be you. That's the other thing I think is, when it comes to AI. So I see a lot of stuff that you're like, okay, so I'm with Remax, right? And Remax is red, white, and blue, right? So I see a lot of stuff out there, and I'm going to use Remax as an example, but where it's like, which Remax company is this? Because people are just going, here's my name, here's my photo, and I'm with Remax, and here's the house that I want to sell.
Yeah.
And it pops out, and it looks just like everybody else's, right? Or they want to do a video, and it, like a listing video or whatever, it looks just like everybody else's, and it's saying the same thing as everybody else, right? You can take all that stuff. As soon as it goes on social media, you can use it, right? And I mean, I do that. I look at videos, and I'm like, that's a cool video. I'm going to try that.
Yeah.
Right? But what somebody can't take from that is the personality that you bring to it, right? Who you actually are.
It's one thing I'm finding in the real estate space, because there's 1,600 agents in this region or something like
There's
that.
a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot of us.
It feels like everybody's doing a lot of the same thing.
Right.
Over and over and over again, right? Like we're sometimes guilty of it too. Like you do a listing video, you do a posting, but everyone does that.
Yeah.
So what else can you do different? So this is an example of something different.
Yes.
A podcast.
Yes.
Interviewing different people in the businesses and the community.
Yeah.
That is different. A lot of people don't do that, but it gives you an authentic, conversation that you can then chop that up and then put that onto social as well.
Yeah. And it's educational too. So it's helping other people,
you're
right?
teaching people, you're giving people also a platform.
Yeah.
Somebody might come to you because they saw a podcast, and we've had that. So it's like, to me, it's like you have to do something that's different.
Yeah.
You can't just be the same as everybody else. Like you can have some stuff that's just, you have to do a listing video. Everyone knows that.
Yes. Yes,
But
you do.
as we talked before we even got on camera here, there's also like lifestyle type of videos. Like, hey, let's talk about what it's like to live along the lake.
Yes.
And how cool the story is here and what you can do. Or there's a thunderstorm video at a property that you talked about, right?
Yeah.
Or a blooper video, like different types of content. So it's not always the same thing.
Yeah, because people get sick of just whether like for in real estate, I feel like I get sick of watching myself sell houses. Do you know what I mean? Like I love it and it's fun. But also I go on my social media and it's like, here's another house, here's another house, here's another house. And people do like it, but I also feel like you're like, oh, it's RuthAnn, she's got another house, right? But you throw extra stuff in there, or things like about the thunderstorm, or the one that I did about I used to live in this neighborhood,
Yep.
or like things like that, and it makes it more. It's just different now. It's not just this. It's not just another post.
One thing that we've not done before that I've never actually seen anybody do, but I've been thinking a lot about recently, and I'm just going to throw this to you live here.
Tell me.
As an idea. I have never seen anybody actually put their clients on and actually do video testimonials and a case study of what it's like working with a real estate agent. Now, not everyone's comfortable, like as a home buyer or seller, going through that process, but some people are. They're comfortable, like sit down, have a conversation, and actually talk to them. Hey, why did you choose me? What was it like working with me? Like a couple of simple questions, but to elicit that experience, because people actually like buying a home is the biggest purchase people are going to make.
Oh yeah.
But to be able to understand, like, what was it like? What was it like working with RuthAnn?
Yeah.
What did she do? She was, she was in connection with me. We had like perfect communication all throughout. She was bringing buyers through. Like she was so honest and transparent about what we need to do. Like people need to hear that experience. I don't think anybody does that. No one does a real case study really well or
Yeah.
a testimonial really well in the real estate space in Windsor-Essex. I've never seen it.
So people do it and they get like one or two, and then they will use it if they do if they do a listing presentation, right? Because not everybody does a listing presentation and walks in and explains how the process goes or who they are. But I have seen it with people, and they use it in their listing presentations because it is, again, very hard to get people on camera.
Yeah.
Right.
But if you can get some people on camera, that's going to sell more than you
Right.
trying to sell.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because all I am is another real estate agent out there being like, use me. Right.
That's
But
right.
when your clients are saying, hey, she's awesome. And that's why, you know, you do
This is
Google
why they
reviews and
choose-
all that kind of stuff. But
You
yeah.
want people to feel like you're the right person for them. And some of the best way to do that is have your clients do that for you.
Yes, I agree with you. I absolutely agree. And if you're my client and you want to do a video, let's do it. I'm all for that.
But I find that's really beneficial for me. Like
Yeah.
we've never actually done that. And I should do that today.
We should do that. We will do that.
A
We will do
testimonial
that.
video, what it's like working with All In Content and Chris Hanna. But like to me, when I've done that and I posted that, I've had people then say, you know, I saw that video.
Mm-hmm.
I really resonated with that person's story of why they're working with you. Let's have a conversation.
You know what? Actually, I can say this. I just did a sit down at my brokerage. So my brokerage was doing interviews with some of their producers there. And this, like, why are you with Remax Preferred? What is it that you like about Remax Preferred? Why did you come to Remax Preferred?
Great.
What would you tell people if they were thinking on changing brokerages? So there are real estate agents and people that are doing that. And
good.
my brokerage is one of them now
Good.
that we talk about it. Yeah. And actually there was one just posted. I think I might have shared it to my Instagram. I'm not sure. I tried.
Tried.
But yeah, no, I think that's really great. And I would love to do that with clients, and we'll absolutely do this.
And I think I get it.
afterwards.
Not everyone's comfortable being on video. The
Yeah.
thing I always say to people about testimonials is that they don't have to be super complicated.
No.
You just ask a couple of questions and just let them record.
Yeah.
And then you can kind of edit it, you know, how they see fit. But I usually just ask two questions. You know, what was it like working with somebody?
Yeah.
And would you recommend them to somebody else? And those two questions, I just let the camera roll.
Yeah.
Because I've had some clients where like I literally, that's what I'll do as part of our monthly engagement. I go just to their clients and I record testimonials with them.
Okay. That's cool.
And it just makes it super easy. Like the person doesn't have to be there. I just show up with the camera, put them on mic and talk.
Which is probably easier than doing it in front of the person that you're trying to
That's
comment
right,
about.
100%. But it's kind of a cool experience. And then I get to share that with the business owner. And then they're like, oh, that's so cool. I can't believe that person said that.
Yeah. Yeah, I do like that.
Yeah, I love it. I find the testimonial stuff is really fun, especially when you can see the impact that a business has had or a person's had on somebody's life or what they've done. Like there's such cool stories that people have that I think more people just need to share on video.
Yeah, I agree with you. I know it's hard, like as a business person. I have a hard time asking for Google reviews. I have a hard time asking for reviews. I have a hard time asking people. I'll ask them for feedback.
Yeah.
I'll be like, could you please give me feedback? What could I have done better? Right? But I have a hard time being like, could you please write something and give me like a Google review?
Yeah.
I have a hard time with that. And that is actually something this year. And I think I told you some of my goals, and I was like, my goals for 2026, one of them is to get more Google reviews. And I've set up like emails, like, so as soon as, you know, I change a status, someone sold and stuff like that, it shoots them an automatic email.
Which is great.
Because I have a hard time with that.
It is hard for a lot of people to do. And I'll admit, I sometimes struggle with that as well. One business that we worked with, they really were struggling with it. And they were able to go from 100 reviews to now over like 1,500 reviews over the span of 2 years by just asking consistently, just making sure everybody does it. They have a QR code that they put on everything so people can just scan and they can do it before they even leave.
Yeah.
And so it just depends on the type of business, but like getting that feedback is vital. And it just helps you be seen. The more different sources and people can kind of be talking about you, it's going to help.
Yeah, absolutely. And I do love that. I love that. So I want to talk more about ideas for the future and stuff that you can do social media wise. But let's go back to AI and some things that are maybe not so great about AI that you are just to be cautious about, you know, when you are, whether you're doing your social media at home or if you're using somebody, like what are some things that AI is not going to be super productive for you?
See, I think I talked a little bit about with the food side, but like it looks like all the same.
Yeah.
All AI imaging is now at this point creating very similar style of text, videos. I find that a lot of AI, especially when people are using it for image creation, sometimes just swaps out the wrong images.
Right.
which is not good.
No.
So like you don't want to do that as well. AI itself is like, if you lean on it too heavily, I think you just sound like everybody else.
Yeah.
And you seem like everyone else.
Yeah.
And you're not going to be standing out amongst the crowd if you're just leveraging it. Like I put my phone always in another room, but if I had my phone with me right now, and I guarantee if I opened up it and I just kind of scrolled through Facebook or Instagram, I would see every other post is probably be AI generated because people are leaning on it too heavily.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree.
And they're sounding all the same.
Yeah.
And they look all the same.
They do look all the same. And I see people then like in the real estate world and stuff like that, especially when it comes to coaching and things. Even their backgrounds look the same.
Yes.
Even their clothes look the same. Not just what they're saying, but everything is the same.
Well, and one of the things that really bothers me, I'd say over the last couple of years, is how many people are like, well, I'm going to just create a business now because I can just use AI and I really don't have the experience of running that type of business or that industry, right? Yeah. And they're like, I think people are leveraging it too much. Mm-hmm. And I think that it's just becoming such a crutch that I'm going to say people are almost like dumber as a result of AI. Like I agree
with you.
I'm worried about the education system because of AI.
System, yes, because the information that they're getting, like you said, isn't always true. It's swapping out stuff, right? Or it's kind of creating it based on what you put into ChatGPT or why can't I think of the name of the other one?
Claude,
thank you.
Yeah.
Whatever you're telling Claude on a regular basis, Claude is like, this is what you want to hear, right? I find that social media and Claude and all those things are kind of like the really nice boyfriend that just like is trying to be like, yeah, you like me.
It agrees with you too much.
It agrees with you too much.
So one of the things I have done though in my version of Claude that I use, because I'll go back and forth on just different ideas, but I'm not using it for like content creation per se.
Yeah.
But I will say, I want you to disagree with me. I don't want you to agree with me on everything that I'm doing.
Yeah.
Like push back because maybe it'll bring something to the surface that I've never thought of.
Right.
And from that perspective, that can be good.
Yeah.
To kind of give me a different perspective that I've never considered before.
Yeah.
Right. But there's like some other bad things. Like we had somebody record in here a few months ago and they were talking about all the bad sides of AI.
Okay.
That some people are like using that as like as a relationship replacement or a counseling replacement.
I think of the Big Bang Theory when Suri first comes out and Raj is like talking to Suri and he's making up like this whole girlfriend and stuff like that. And I mean, that was what, 8 years ago?
But it is a common thing that is happening
real now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where people who probably should go and, maybe talk to a professional about something. It doesn't have to be just counseling, but like talk to a professional about any like legal advice.
Right.
But they're using, let me just talk to AI.
Yeah. Or kids
that
too.
might not be accurate. Kids are definitely leaning on it.
Like kids, it is actually really scary, in my opinion, of what's happening with AI and with kids.
Yeah.
Right? Because instead of going out and playing with friends and making new friends and all that kind of stuff, they're talking to people that aren't even real.
Yeah.
Right? They're just AI, unreal, computer-generated people, and they're building relationships. I mean,
there's people who have AI boyfriends and girlfriends. Like that is a true thing that's out there. Like they just.
I mean, if you want to create the perfect man or perfect woman, but
like they literally just talk to the voice version of ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And so I think there's concerns there. I read an article on the weekend that more and more as like robots are becoming more like household items in the next few years. They're expecting and being like integrated with AI. Like it's going to be a little strange, but like people are going to be having more conversations with the AI bot or whatever that's in their home than real people, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's
so unfortunate. Like I think a lot of people are struggling with, I think from a communication perspective.
Yeah. I think the communication perspective is huge. And I think that we're losing a lot of our communication and just talking to one another, and when you're saying that, like more stuff coming into the home and things like that. Well, I mean, it's one thing to lose your communication outside, you leave your workplace or you leave your school and now you're not even talking to those people. You don't call them. You don't go meet them. You don't go have, you don't go out with them anymore because you just go home and you go on your social media. But to have it in your house, right? And I mean, I do hear where spouses too, they'll be like having an argument over something and then they'll just be like, hey, hey, Google, what's the answer to this? Right. Yeah. And I mean, that takes the fun out of fighting about it.
I'm not going to lie. I've done that with my wife a few times. Like, I need you to help settle this. And then I always am wrong, which is so irritating, but it always happens. I'm curious to flip the question to you though on AI.
Yeah.
In the last few years, what are you seeing in the real estate space? Maybe you're seeing in the brokerage. Like, where is AI starting to come in from? Like, is there stuff happening on the transaction side or the admin side that you're starting to see AI being used, or like even like market analysis, like anything happening there?
Yeah, so I definitely don't think that you should be using it for a market analysis, because I really think you should be going physically into the home and looking at the home and then pulling everything up right there with your client and showing them everything. You know what I mean? Like physically doing it before you go in, as well as with them, right? To just sit there and go, hey, what are houses in this area selling for if they're a little bit dated? I mean, that's just lazy. You need to be better than that. But I think that the thing that people are mostly using it for, so I think there's two things. I think there's things that people should be using it for and things that people are mostly using it for.
Yeah.
Right. So I am seeing a lot and hearing a lot of, and it drives me crazy personally. Okay. When I call an agent, especially if it's an agent that's my friend, and if you're my friend and I have said this to you, like, what the heck? Right. Where I call and it says, please leave your name or state your name and your reason, and I'll see if this person's available for you. Like, if I'm calling you, I want to talk to you. I want you to answer the phone.
They're using AI to screen?
To like screen stuff.
Oh, okay.
Right? Or to even say like, call, like, why are you calling? Are you calling about a listing? Are you calling about this? Are you calling about this?
Triage.
And they're being triaged.
Yeah.
And I don't want to be triaged as a friend. You know, I certainly don't want to be triaged as somebody who's calling about my biggest investment. I want to talk to the realtor. Or I want to talk to the secretary who's a real person.
Yeah.
Right. So they're being triaged. The secretaries are now no longer a real person. Right. And people know that.
Yeah.
Like, people know when somebody isn't real.
Yeah.
You know, because they're not asking the right question. And a lot of times, I mean, different businesses are different, but when people are calling about real estate, they have a lot of questions right off the bat. Right. And they're kind of just throwing them at you. Or they're looking for someone very specific, right? And that can't be, in my opinion, I don't think that AI should be answering those questions for people. I think that they need to talk to a person right away, and a real live person. Yeah. Right?
And the market changes so often too. So like, I've seen some real estate tools that are like AI bots, we'll call them, and it'll like, you kind of feed information to kind of, do whatever with it. And so someone would ask a question, but the information changes. Like the markets, the prices go down on average, and you can ask this and it pulls information, but it's wrong.
Right.
I've seen that happen too.
Yes. Yeah. So we get stats from the board, right? And when we're putting in, like, every month I do a newsletter that goes out and it has all the statistics for the month and what happened and things like that. Right. And I do put in like Claude, and what's going on, what happened in the real estate world and blah, 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 blah. And I read through like the Canadian Real Estate Association sends stuff, the Ontario Real Estate Association sends stuff, right? And I kind of put it all together because I'm very busy. I don't have time to read it like, word for word, but it pulls out everything that's important. But then I take that back to the statistics that my board has sent me and I check all of it.
Yeah, you want to cross-reference, make sure it's right.
Because sometimes it's not.
Yeah.
And sometimes what I do find that happens, and I don't know if it's because we're close to the border, but instead of giving us, like, if I type in a city here in Canada or somewhere around here or a neighborhood, it'll be like, oh, in Ohio. Or I get Connecticut too. I don't know what it is.
Totally not relevant.
Not even relevant, but Connecticut comes up a lot. I don't know if that's something that I'm Googling normally. I don't think so, but it pulls it up. So you really have to watch that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Right. But I do think that kind of thing is good because it can create something for you. It looks nicer. Like, I don't want to sit there and play around on Canva. Like, that's my nightmare. But I can be like, here's the stuff, and it pops it up in a really nice design.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that kind of stuff is good. I also think that it's really great. And I really feel like if you are a real estate agent, you need a really good client management system. Like you need a really good, I think if you're a business person in general, you need a really good CRM, right? And I think that your CRM, and we should be using this, you should be able to stage people, and like we were talking about with the Google reviews. Right? Where it sends out something.
Yeah, some automations that are built in there.
Some automations need to be built in there because the thing is that I'm only one person, right? I make phone calls every day, right? But I can't be just calling cold leads and things like that. And much like you were talking about when you're sending out videos to leads, and video is great. We're doing video now. You should be sending out a video.
Yeah.
Right? But it does need to be authentic.
It does.
And you need to update it every once in a while. So
right.
if you are using an automated system and you are sending out videos, like make sure those are updated too.
I think, yeah, it comes down to that personalization a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you have to be, personalizing that outreach. I'm going to flip to the interviewer for a second here. Because I'm going to ask you another question. You said something that I think is very important that people need to hear. You make phone calls.
Yes.
A lot of people don't make phone calls as, in today's world, but you do.
I make phone calls.
I want you to talk about that. And I know this is your show and I'm hijacking it with this,
That's okay.
But I think it's worthwhile calling out because a lot of people don't. And I've talked to a lot of business, and I've used you as an example with other business owners that I've given some crap to. Because I said, you contact people and you form those connections.
Yes. Okay. So you can use, I like social media is great. Okay. Billboards are great. All of it's great. Okay. Those are all just different ways of people seeing you and you being like at the top of their mind. They flip on their phone and there's RuthAnn Osborne. Okay. They drive by down Front Road and or Howard and it's a billboard and they're like, hey, that's my realtor. There's RuthAnn Osborne. You know what I mean? I
say that every time I drive past too. I say, hey, that's RuthAnn.
Yes. On the Front Road, they have my husband's, some people they work with, they go, oh, you go down River Canard and then you're going to take a left at the RuthAnn Osborne to get into Amherstburg, you know? Like all that stuff is great. And it kind of keeps you in the front of people's minds and stuff like that. But that's all that it's doing. Mm-hmm. It's not doing anything else other than that. It is not what is getting you business.
Excellent. I'm glad you're going where I wanted you to lead you to this part. Keep talking.
And I'm passionate about it because that's not where the business is coming from. The business is coming from sitting down every single day and picking up that phone and talking to people because business is built on relationship, right? That is it. That is 100% what it is about. And again, when we go back to AI, that's why AI doesn't always work is because it's not who you really are, right? It's not a relationship unless you're the guy that wants the fake girlfriend, it's not going to work for your business. But you got to pick up that phone. So what I do is I have like a list of people that I'm calling, right? So I'm talking to if you're my client, I'm talking to you or texting you pretty much every day if you're active, right? If your house is listed, if you're buying a house, we're talking anyways.
Yeah.
Right. But if you're like 6 months or a year, 2 years down the road, I still need to connect with you. Right. And yeah, sure. I send you emails and I update you because I want you to stay educated. Right. But also, hey, how are you? How are things going? Did you have any real estate questions? Because a lot of times people are sitting at home and they're like, well, I mean, I'm going to Google it. But to actually be able to have a professional call you and say, hey, do you have any questions that I can answer right now? People are happy to have that.
So this is not a cold list that you're hitting up. This is like a people that you already know that are kind of in your realm, you've connected with at some point. And that you're.
But some of them are cold.
Some of them are cold? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Because there's a time, there's time in every day that I spend where I'm calling cold leads, right? So they've come maybe through my social media or they've called and, or maybe they've been sitting there for a little bit and things like that.
Sure.
Right. I'm calling those people. And actually, if I get like a lead right off the hop, like I'm calling them, I'm emailing them, I'm texting them for like a couple of days in a row and hitting them really, really hard.
Okay.
Right. And if they haven't got back to me, then they're a cold lead. Right. I'm still calling them. Right. I'm still calling them and sending them messages and doing that kind of thing. And I'm picking up the phone because you have to do that, right? And then my people who are warm leads, I'm calling them. So it's kind of like during every day, it's about an hour.
Okay.
And in that hour, I'm hitting cold leads, warm leads, hot leads. And then the rest of the day, I'm already talking to my clients anyways.
And I think that is incredible because, again, I've worked with a lot of people in different aspects of the real estate space, but you're the only person that I've ever heard consistently talk about doing that on a consistent basis. So like, oh yeah, I had a call today or I'll do it tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
You are so consistent. I think that's key. The thing I love though, what you said is that the social media is great. Billboards are great, but that is just to get you top of mind.
That's right.
It is not about, that's going to be the conversion. Like, yes, I saw that listing video and now I want to buy that house. And like, no, it's about the connection and relationship you have. Same thing with me. I pump out content nonstop.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I do not look at it as like I pump a video out and that should instantly get me business.
No, because that's just being lazy.
So what I do is I pump the content out and then I'll do what I said I'm going tonight. I'm going to networking tonight.
Yes.
And then I form connections and I start talking to people. And maybe I go to lunch or maybe I go have a drink somewhere or I meet with them there or they come here or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like I have a long sales cycle in my business.
Yeah.
Usually for most of the part, right? So it's like I do the content for awareness and I get out and I do events and I do whatever other things, but I'm connecting. Yeah. And those relationships are the ones that develop into business over time.
And you need to be calling people if you're a business person, not just a real estate person, because you need to be developing the skills to be able to convert a client or to convert a lead into a client, right? And if you're not constantly calling people and talking to people, then when somebody does call you up, what are you saying to them? You know what I mean? Like, can you answer their questions the right way to get the right answers so that you can help that person, right?
But you're also calling with like intention. Like you're not calling like obviously the end goal is you want to sell or you want to help somebody, sell their home or buy a home.
Right.
But like you're calling with value.
Yes.
To help.
Yes. Always with value. You don't just call and be like, hey, it's RuthAnn. I'm a real estate agent. Like, are you looking to sell your house? People are like, click. don't call me, click. You know what I mean? You have to have some
junior people who are in the industry probably fall into that somewhat, maybe if they're not trained or coached the right way, though. I'm not sure that happens.
Well, yeah. And I mean, so I did a lot of, in other businesses and companies that I've had, right? Like I did a lot of networking and I believe you really have to do networking and I do a lot of networking and I love being part of the community. Like that's just who I am, is in me innately. I love to be part of my community, right? And help people. So, but that was always what brought me business in my other businesses was going out and doing that. Right. But those were also different industries and also different times. You know what I mean? Like I've been doing real estate for a long time now. So those businesses and things were like over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
And business was different 10 years ago because you didn't have social media. You didn't have all those other avenues to be out there. Right. So because you were making connections, because making connections in person was more the way that you did things, the phone calls, you didn't have to do it as much, right? And then when I got into real estate, I struggled for my first couple of months and I was like, why isn't this working? Like I'm doing everything, right? And really what it was is I wasn't picking up the phone enough. And as soon as I picked up the phone, that's when the business started happening.
Yeah.
And even at the beginning of this year, I was dealing with a little bit of burnout. Right. And I said to my husband, I need to be making more phone calls, but like, I'm afraid because I know as soon as I pick up that phone and I start making those phone calls, whether it's a cold call or a warm call, whatever those leads are, I'm going to get busy.
Yeah.
Right. And that's just how it is. Like I've talked about him before. I have a mentor and my guy this year, I'm like, listen, just make phone calls. I want to know that you're making phone calls. Now he's crazy. Like he's busy.
Yeah.
Right? Because the phone is where it is. You got to pick up the phone. Social media is great. And you need to have social media. You need to have different ways of putting yourself out there. But at the end of the day, if you're not picking up that phone, you're not really going to be getting business.
But I totally agree. Like you have to take action. And if you just sit around and like wait, nothing is going to happen. Right?
No one's coming to you.
Now, I will admit though, you talked about burnout and I remember we had a conversation around that time too as well. Like, burnout is a real thing, though, as a business owner as well.
Oh, my goodness.
And you can burn out from content creation, too.
Yes. Okay, so it is exhausting, I have to say, when you're doing podcasts and things like that. Like, I always try and give myself a couple of hours in between, right? Because I'm going to be tired after this, right? Like, if someone calls me, I'm going to be like, I need a second. I need a hot minute and a coffee.
Yeah.
Because
I think you have to find ways to take a break or take time for yourself. Like, yes, so we're going back and forth here and we're having this great conversation. I'm networking tonight. I think networking is so important, but I'm also an introverted person.
Yeah.
So I have energy now, but I'm gonna have to probably chill out for the next couple hours.
Yes.
To get energy again. And then I'm doing tomorrow night networking again. And that's like from 4 to 11 p.m.
Yeah.
So it's like, to me, it's like content creation or just business in general. You got to find ways to get energy.
You have to find ways to get energy, and coffee and energy drinks only get you so far.
That's true.
But you have to, I think that comes with, so one of the things that I've done because I had that burnout, okay, is I'm I've been really focusing this year on my policies and procedures, right? And I've always had policies and procedures, right? But I've always been the one, what's the right way of saying this? Like, those are my policies and procedures for the way that I do things.
Yeah.
Right now, it's more like, okay, you have to step outside of how I do things and how do I run my business and what do I need for that? So I got an assistant, right? And I've been putting those policies and procedures in place for those. And I mean, I got to be honest with you, it's really hard sometimes to not just do something myself. And I'm like, no, that is not your policy. That is something that your assistant does.
I am very guilty of that. I have one of my assistants here behind the camera, and I am very guilty of that. Sometimes I just jump in and do stuff that I'm like, I should not just be doing this.
Right.
Exactly. But I do it.
Exactly.
You just do it.
You just do it. You're so used to like, oh, my client needs this done. I could do it in 2 seconds.
That's right.
And it's like, no, because that's just going to burn you out. You have to step back.
Yeah.
Right. Especially when you're with, and the other thing is you need to spend more time with family and friends.
Yeah.
Right. Because I find that's where I get my energy from. I get my energy from being around my husband. Right. I wouldn't say I get my energy from being around my husband. I would say I get relaxed and revitalized from being around my husband. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, if I get to spend a whole day off with my husband, I am a better person the next day.
Yeah, I get it. Here's what's funny in my business. My wife and I have talked about this a lot. Every time we go away and plan anything together, my phone starts ringing nonstop. People wanting to do business.
Oh, that's the rule of business. Plan a vacation.
Well, I remember we went on like the Mikasa Bay, the boat on there. I got like 2 phone calls. We're like, hey, I want to, do a meeting. Then we went to Pelee Island. I had 2 phone calls as we're biking, and I'm dying biking in the heat. We're going to Halifax next month for her birthday.
Yeah.
We're just going to go for like the weekend or whatever. And she's like, I know what's going to happen. You're going to get blown up with phone calls.
Yeah.
Every time we plan a vacation together, constantly get interrupted with people wanting to work with me.
Yeah.
Every time for years, this has been the case.
That's the rule of business. If you're a business owner and you're not busy, plan a vacation because you'll get busy.
So my wife has joked. She's like, I think we just need to plan more vacations because then we get busier when you have vacations planned.
Yeah.
I said, I know, but it's very stressful.
It's very stressful. I was away this weekend. I had a friend of mine was getting engaged, and it was wonderful, right? But my internet wasn't working great. I had to write an offer. All of this stuff happened, and I was like, I'm so stressed out, right? And my one friend, she's like, can't you just put your phone down? And I was like, no.
I think that's the hard thing about being in real estate is that you have to be available all the time in a way.
Yeah.
Like people will contact you nonstop.
Well, and in my opinion, you need to answer the phone.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, right? I mean, not always. You have to shut it down. And again, now I have processes and procedures and things like that. You have to have those. Otherwise, you do burn out, and you do have to take time for vacation, and you do have to step back. And like when my husband and I go away, like we went to Scotland last year, I barely answered my phone the whole time. I had my mentee who's amazing. He just took over for me, and I'm very, very, very blessed to have people in the real estate business who are top producers and who are professionals and who know exactly what they're doing, that are able to step into my business and take over and handle anything, and I don't have to worry about it. And I do that for them too.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm very blessed to have that. And I do take advantage of that when I go away on a vacation with my husband. Right. Yeah. But just like little weekend trips, or a little camping trip. Yeah. I'm answering my phone, and it does get stressful.
Yeah, it does take a bit of a strain. I'll say from my side on the relationship when like, hey, why do you need to be on your phone? Well, yeah, you're texting someone back who's like, hey, I want to talk with you, and like, can you give me some time, right?
Yeah,
because it does happen. They have every trip for years.
Every time you get in a canoe, man, someone's got to call.
Yeah, it's remarkable how that happens. So like I said, well, we know we're going away on August 15th, and so boom, we're gonna 100% get called probably as we're going to the airport or just on the plane or something. Yeah. Every time.
Yeah. And okay, I am going to say this in business because I don't get to talk about this enough. But if you're thinking of getting married and you're a business owner, you better be marrying the right person. Okay. Because that is going to make or break your business.
100%.
And I'm very lucky that my husband is super supportive and completely understands. And like, I don't get any pushback. Right. But I know people who are great people and they've had great businesses and they've gotten married and they've either changed their job and they're no longer running a business, or they're not running it at the capacity that they want to. And every time I talk to them, they're frustrated and they're like, well, it's too difficult for him or her, you know, when I'm answering the phone all the time, or they don't understand why I have to stay out later. They don't understand why we can't spend this money in the bank account, or they don't understand why I had to buy this new expensive thing for my business. Like, if you're in business and you're thinking of getting with somebody, you need to be with the right person.
Yeah, I would say running a business is not for everyone. Like a lot of people, you know, want to glamorize it. Like there's like, it's amazing. You make your own hours, you can do all this, but like, I think you work more than you've ever worked as a business owner. And it takes a toll on relationships. It is hard, but you have to have the right person and the right support.
Yeah.
But even when you do, it is still challenging. You have to work at it.
You have to work at it. Yeah. You don't have to just work. I feel like you have to work harder at your marriage when you're a business owner, and harder with your time your time management.
Yeah.
As a business owner.
I find it hard in my business too. Like I'm supporting lots of different industries and clients and stuff too. And so like things just kind of pop up, right? And like, you might just like, hey Chris, I got a new listing that's kind of coming up. Like,
oh, I'm terrible.
I got to pivot today because I got to get that listing out today.
Oops, sorry, forgot.
And then it's like, and then boom, and then you go back to what you're doing. Like, I'm not trying to diss what we do. I love what we do, but
I am trying to do better.
But no, listings just come up though, and that's fine, and that's part of the business.
They do, yeah.
But it's like, okay, a listing comes up. I have a plan for today. I'm going to do this, this, and this. And it's like, oh, I got to get this. I got to chop this up. I got to post that.
Yeah.
You just got to be ready. And so I find in my business, I just have to roll with it. I have to learn to pivot really quick.
Yes. Yeah, you have to be able to pivot for sure. And you do a really good job at that. And I do apologize because I know I send you stuff and I'm like, sorry, I forgot about this one. And like, we just had this conversation today when I was like, oh, we're doing a price adjustment and there's another listing going up.
I'm like, oh, that's cool. And to me, it's like, I find it funny. I don't get frustrated or anything like that. I was like, I love seeing the activity.
Yeah.
But then you're just like, okay, so I had a plan for that. Now I got to just pivot for a couple hours here. So I intentionally leave time for just the stuff that's going to happen. Like I do
that too.
I can't. I used to block my time consistently.
Yeah.
But now I'm like, I know a curveball is going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I had,
and I'm not saying they're bad, but just stuff's going to happen.
Stuff's going to happen. And I had a mentor say to me when I first started in the business, she looked at my schedule. Like I was like, right. Cause RuthAnn has 2 levels. I'm like, everything's great. Or I'm like, oh no. Right. Like there's no like in between for me. I'm working on that. But she was like, let me see your schedule. And I'm like, here's my schedule. And she's like, you are back to back to back to back appointments all week. And I said, well, yeah, I have appointments. And she's like, no, you got to leave yourself some time.
Yeah.
She's like, there's things that are going to happen and things that are going to go wrong and things that need to be changed or done immediately. And if you don't leave yourself, like you're time blocking everything, but you're not time blocking time for stuff that you don't know is going to happen.
Yeah. That was such a rookie move I had when I first started.
Yeah, me too.
Because I didn't know. I'm like, oh, I've got to fill my time and all that stuff, right? Because you go from working for other people to now working for yourself, running your own business.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, I'm just going to be super productive. And between this hour and this hour, I'm doing this and this.
Yeah.
But then just stuff happens.
Stuff happens. Yeah. Stuff happens. And it always happens, again, when you get in a canoe. Like,
yeah, or Friday at 4 o'clock.
Friday at 4, when you sit down for dinner with your spouse in a nice restaurant.
Yeah.
That's when it's going to happen.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
But, okay, so actually, one of the things I do want to know is, and we did talk a little bit about this because you said, if you can get your clients to kind of give you a review on video, right? But where is social media and all this stuff going? Because it has really escalated quickly. I mean, I've been in the business for 6 years. And when I started, I could have my dad follow me around with a camera and do a video where I had big real estate companies calling me and being like, you're doing video. Oh my gosh, who's doing your video? And it was like a cutting edge. And I've always wanted to be on the cutting edge. And I've always wanted to be, if we talk about pivoting, I believe that you have to pivot in business. I believe you have to be ever changing and you have to change. If you don't change, you're going to become like just nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So I have changed with my business and social media has been the biggest thing, right? So what do you see coming down the pipeline next for not just real estate, but business in general when it comes to social media and how to get yourself out there?
Well, I'd say some of it is what we're doing right here, right now. And this is what I call owning your own platform. Because at the end of the day, like having something like a podcast is the ability to take a little bit more control as opposed to just leaving it all in the hands of the Facebooks and the Instagrams of the world to kind of just post your content, because you can go more long form. I see long form really starting to take off a lot more than short form content, because people, when they really start to like you and know you, then they want to dive deeper. And so you're seeing more of that starting to really take off and really going to happen over these next little while. Again, the authenticity piece that we talked about with like AI, you standing out more with that is also going to be key as you move forward. I'm wondering if there's going to be some sort of like consolidation of some sort that's going to happen, because there's so many platforms out there now too.
Yeah.
If there's either going to be either consolidation of some, or just even more platforms that people are going to try and create, like, the nicer version of LinkedIn or whatever. Like you might be having to be required to be on more platforms, which is really unfortunate.
I feel like it's going to be more platforms, and just you saying that is stressing me out.
It stresses me out because that's more to manage.
Yeah.
But I think you're going to start to see people wanting to do that, because you can now use AI to help create a lot of different apps and tools easily.
Right.
And so people are going to start creating, I think, more of their own social networks. And so I think you're going to have even more that you're going to need to be on. But like doing what we're doing now is just like table stakes, bare minimum that people are going to need to be able to do. Like
right.
Everyone has to be doing video as a bare minimum.
Yes. Everybody has to be doing video. You should be doing video.
It's not just about posting.
Right.
Right. But people also want to know behind the scenes. Yeah. That's where you're going to see social media wanting to be like, what's it like going on a walkthrough of a house?
Yeah.
What's it like to actually do a listing presentation? That stuff is going to start to be want more of. People want to see almost like a TV show.
Right. Yes. So I do agree with you, because I meet people out in the public that know me, right? And they know me through my social media, and they're watching me on social media. And there's this one guy, and he comes up and he goes, "Oh, we love your TV commercials."
Your TV commercials?
My TV commercials. And I'm like, that's so great. Thanks for watching. Right? He's so cute. We love your TV commercials. But as a society that's becoming more and more at home and not going out, and that's becoming your TV, right? Then yeah, I agree with that.
Some people don't watch
people
TV at all. They don't watch movies, right? Like
Yeah.
they don't even there's no cable. People like have Netflix subscriptions or whatever, but they don't even watch that. Like they're watching social media.
They are watching social media.
So
100%.
one thing I've starting to see a lot of companies, not a lot, but some companies are starting to do is to make longer form, we'll call it episodic type of content on social.
Yeah.
So here's a 7 to 10 minute episode of some sort of thing that they're starting to like to put on, and it's a series. Like, okay, episode 1, episode 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff, like people can follow that journey over time, but just through social media.
Yeah.
Like companies are actually investing a lot into it.
So that's kind of what we're doing almost with the podcast too, I feel like, because you get the full podcast, right, on the different places that it's posted, but then the social media has like little snippets of
but
what's
now you're
going
seeing
on.
like there's a bit of an in-between. So you're seeing, instead of just here's like a 1 minute version, here's like a 10-minute version that people can then follow along, and they can just go like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes here, because attention spans have like shrank drastically. People just don't pay attention as long either, right?
Oh yeah.
But you're seeing like companies like Apple are investing in these like short form clips, but not like the short form 1 minute stuff, like the 10-minute style now.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're taking and there's millions of dollars being pumped into these type of like mid-tier kind of content that's starting to take place. It's crazy.
You know what? That makes total sense. And I mean, when I do my listing presentations, one of the things that I tell people is people are seeing you, like realtor.ca is your listing needs to be on realtor.ca, but people are looking at it when they get up in the morning. You know, it's first thing in the morning, they're having their coffee and they're looking for a house and they're like, okay, what's new? What did my realtor send me? What's new on realtor.ca? Or they're doing it before they go to bed at night. But all day long, they're swiping through their social media. They're stuck in traffic. They're looking through their phone. They have a few minutes before their meeting starts. They're swiping through their phone. They're picking up their kids in the kiss and drop off thingy, right? Whatever it's called. They're swiping through their phone. You know, they're waiting for dinner to boil. They're stirring a pot. They're swiping through their social media. A lot of times, like we do the coming soon, we get phone calls for that. It's not even up on realtor.ca because people are seeing it. People are on their social media more than they're on anything else.
They say it takes 7 to 12 touch points where someone trusts you enough to maybe want to do business, right? So this is why you have to be putting out multiple forms of content, multiple styles, be seen in different areas. billboards as an example too, so that people can like, okay, I saw RuthAnn here, I saw her here, I saw her here, I saw her here. Now I want to pick up a phone call.
Yeah.
Maybe I wanted to have a conversation.
Yeah.
One thing that I've really thought of, and I don't know how soon we're going to get there, but at some point in the future, you're going to see virtual reality be a thing when it comes to listings.
I know.
Instead of going
I
to
agree
a
with
home,
you
instead of
on
going to a
this.
walkthrough, I feel like that's going to happen at some point.
I know.
That it's going to be wild.
Because you know what? The thing is that realtors talk about, like, I get together with my friends and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, those shows where it would be like, this is Barbara Ann and her husband, and they're looking for a 3-bed, 1-bath. And this is Ruth Ann, and she's showing them these 3 houses, and they're going to make a decision. Right?
Yeah.
And it's like, if we did that with our clients, like if we had clients that would let us videotape them and do that, that would be awesome.
That would be awesome.
And I'm thinking, I mean, that would be cool, but at the same time, like I agree with you. I think that people would love to see that.
I see people though putting on a headset and just going and walking through a home though.
Okay, so listen.
That I feel is going to be coming.
Have I not sent you the videos from the glasses that Just Egg has?
No.
Oh my goodness. I thought I'm gonna have to send them to you. I did it definitely for a when I was in Kingsville at the Seniors Expo. Those are glasses. So it's like a walk through bird's eye view. So he's got these glasses that he puts on.
Okay.
And they look like glasses. Like they're glasses.
Sure.
They're Ray-Bans.
Okay.
And they have cameras in them.
Yeah. So the Meta Ray-Ban glasses.
Yeah. And then you can walk through it and it's like, this is what you're seeing if you are a buyer.
Yeah, I feel like
This
that's
is
going
how
to become
you're seeing
even
your
more of a
house.
thing.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. That's how it is.
So people could just like, just going to watch that and just virtual walkthrough.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, we do it different ways with the walkthroughs and stuff like that. But we've done those.
I find
the
that
glasses
like
are pretty cool.
the walkthrough stuff, like the technology, you go back to AI, has really changed quite a bit too. Like I see a lot of stuff where it's like, all you need to do, they're saying now, is just take pictures, and then you know how you can kind of zoom in and out.
Yeah.
Like AI can spit out a listing video in 30 seconds,
Yeah.
theoretically too.
Yeah.
It's like the technology is changing so much, but like I feel like there's some real disruption that's going to come in the next couple of years with AI.
And so you think it's going to be more like
Star Trek based.
Star Trek based. Star Trek. Okay, I am a Trekkie.
So am I.
I love I was part of the Star Trek fan club when I was growing up.
I went to the convention a couple of times.
I've been to 2. I went to one in London when I was a kid, and this guy fully dressed like Worf. Like he looked like him.
I did not know you were a Trekkie.
I am a huge sci-fi and Trekkie and
I've
Star
met
Wars.
William Shatner.
You've met Shatner?
I pictured him in my office at home, and me and Jean-Luc Picard together.
Okay, my cousin is so in love with Shatner.
Nice.
Okay, he's like her one guy, But I think Shatner's. I'm not going to go into what I think of Shatner and how hot I think he is, especially back in the day, because that gets me.
But I have a picture of me with both of them separately. I was not allowed to. You're not allowed to shake hands with Patrick Stewart at the convention, but you could put your arm around William Shatner. So I got a picture of me and William Shatner.
Well, yeah, because Shatner's like, let's go.
Let's go. And just, I'm like, I started like tearing up because I'm like, this is a huge moment for me.
Yeah, that is very, very cool. Yeah. That's very cool. But Star Trek predicted everything.
It did. And I think that's where the world's going.
Oh, yeah, for sure it is. Yeah, there's so many things that come in, and I'm like, that's from Star Trek.
And that's where I feel like the holodeck kind of stuff in Star Trek, we're going to be able to walk through homes just virtually, like in a different way. Like it's incredible what's coming.
Well, one of the things that I use is, we don't call it Matterport anymore, but I still call it that because that's what it's always been to me, where you can go through it and then you can it's almost like the Google Earth thing.
Yeah, you kind of like zoom your way in and out and around the rooms and stuff.
Yeah, that type of thing, right? But the sunglasses are really cool. I was like, partially like, I mean, I can do this with my camera too.
Yeah.
Right. But I'm going to have to send.
But yeah, I've seen those. I have actually another client who actually owns those as well.
Yeah.
And someone said to me, he's like, oh, Chris, when you're doing like some of these like property tours that I've done, they're like, why don't you get glasses like that just to walk around? And I'm like, you're moving your head around and trying to like do that. I'm like, it seems weird to use eyes as my camera, but
you know what? Okay. So this is cute and funny. When we were at the Seniors Expo, Just Egg had those glasses, right? And my dad is so into technology, right? So I'm like, my dad's gonna love these. Can he borrow them? So Just Egg's like, yeah, sure. Puts them on, and it just, what do you say? You say start whatever glasses, right? And so you tell them to start and then they start. So my dad's like got a coffee and he's walking around with these glasses on and he's talking to people, right? And all of a sudden I have people running up to my table and they're like, RuthAnn, your dad's walking around with glasses on, recording people and it's freaking them out. I'm like, it should be freaking them out.
Yeah.
And then as you're walking, because the older generation doesn't like to be recorded.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're not into surveillance whatsoever. They grew up in a generation where that was like wrong, right? A huge invasion of privacy. And now we're just out here recording every single thing that we do.
That's right.
Right? So it's different for them. And you can hear they're like, there's a guy walking around recording in glasses. I'm like, okay, we got to find my dad and shut this down.
Yeah.
But so maybe not for that. It's not great. But for house stuff. Yeah. We actually went to a listing the other day, Just Egg and I, and it was a house that's just a disaster. Like the tenants had taken over stuff on the front lawn. The house is like, they've got to completely go through the whole thing, right? And he had his glasses on. He shows up with his glasses on and he had a hat on. And I, as soon as I looked at him, I was like, way to be inconspicuous.
Yeah. it's a clever way to do it, right?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'm seeing those glasses. Like, obviously there's a bit of like the poker world where people are also kind of wearing them too, and they're not allowed to. They're starting to ban that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But like those glasses are everywhere.
Yeah. They're cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's the type of thing. So
I think you see more of the more technology just being heavily leveraged. And like, who knows what's going to happen? Like AI's changed so much in 2 years. 2 years from now, who knows what to predict?
Right?
It's crazy.
I know. So, okay. So then let's pull this all together here. As a business owner, we know that we need to be doing social media stuff and we need to be staying on top of that.
Right.
Right. But as this grows and like you're talking about with the videos and things like that, doing batch content and doing longer amounts is definitely what you need to do because it's just time-wise. Right. So then if it starts to be more of that type of thing and more like the walk in real estate world, like the walkthrough stuff and that type of thing, more the TV show-ish version of it, how does one put that all together in their business? Because it's a lot.
They don't put it all together. They hire someone to do it.
Yes, for sure. Well, yeah, no, you can't do it on your own. So how?
But you're going to eventually, I think you're going to see more and more businesses, or especially in the real estate space, just have like full media and content teams.
Yeah.
That are going to help support, right? Because you need someone to shoot, you need someone to edit, you need someone to maybe storyboard some stuff, to script it, like to guide all the way through. Like it's becoming less of just a one-person job.
For sure. I totally agree with that. And most of the bigger teams that are in the city or in the GTA and stuff like that, they already have that in place.
Yeah. I think you'll see more of that happen. Like you're going to need full on, and not even just real estate. I'd say just businesses in general, like a whole media department that's just going to continue to happen. Like I see no reason for anybody who's in this digital space to be like, no, there's no business right now. I'm like, no, there's business out there. You just got to go find it.
There's business out there. You got to go find it for sure. You got to pick up the phone.
Got to pick up the phone.
So then how about for the individual business owner, like the guy who's cutting down trees or the single realtor like myself, you know, you don't have a big company. You don't have the whole budget to be able to do that kind of thing.
But you don't have to have the big budget. You can just start with a cell phone.
Yeah.
Everyone's got this really powerful cell phone that you could record content on. I remember when we started talking, I said, you got to pick up a mic.
Yes.
Make sure you get mics. Those are vital and those are important, right? Same thing, like have a mic, have a cell phone. Yeah. Start with something. The guy who's cutting down trees, you got natural light outside. That is beautiful. You've got something that you could show falling down. You could show the process. You could show behind the scenes. You could show you climbing up the tree. You could do it yourself, or you could have somebody on your team help you out.
Yeah.
But you don't have to overthink it. Too many people overthink the digital side.
I agree.
Just hit record.
Yes. And then don't watch it afterwards. I don't watch my stuff. My biggest videos that get the most reviews are if I mess up. People love that. They want,
because it's real.
It's real. They want to see nothing more than me mess up or get chased by a bee.
Yes, those are funny. But like just post content. Like I think it's the worst thing that people can do is have all this content that just sits there.
I agree.
That's why, again, my business, the way it operates is we can record, we can edit, we can also schedule it for you.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that it gets out. Because once it's out there consistently, it's working for you 24/7. People can watch it any time of the day.
Yeah, that's right. And consistency. So what you've been able to help me do is exactly that, right? I've had a lot of content and I've been able to give it to you. And now Now it's consistent. Every day I have a bunch of stuff that comes out. Some of it is real estate videos, listing videos. Some of it is my house stuff. Some of it's posts. Some of it's educational based.
Some of it's, hey, congratulations to my seller or buyer. Like you've got a mix of different types of content that goes out.
Right. And it's consistent and it's a full-time job that it is not my profession. Right. So I appreciate all that you do for me. I think you're awesome. And I think if anyone's looking to get their social media up and going and they're done like crying at night over trying to post a video on Instagram, that they should 100% call you.
I appreciate that, RuthAnn. Like, I think nobody should be crying in their business over social media or video content or anything.
I agree with you 100%.
There's other things to cry about, but don't cry about that.
No. Call Chris. Don't cry. Call Chris.
There you go.
All right. Is there anything else that you would like to share about your business or anything like that?
Well, if anybody's looking for that kind of help and support, you could go to allincontent.ca, or if you're interested in the studio where you can come in, you can record social media content. We've had people record webinars, training material, or podcasts. You can visit studio.allincontent.ca.
Awesome. So thank you so much for doing this for me and for everything that you do for me.
You're welcome.
This has been great.
And we'll get to editing this video next.
Awesome.